All right, we're back. Another edition of The Climb. Got a good friend here, good friend of the program, Stephanie Cooper. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
And I am so excited to have you because I'm just a fan of good accounts, and you got a great, what is it, Stephanie,
It's
Therapy with Stephanie?
therapy with Stephanie. Underscore at the end.
And you know it's good because the branding is on point. It's got this nice blue, little turquoise. It's just constant. So it's a good account.
Thank
Um,
you.
Glad to have you here. So beyond the account, and Stephanie's a therapist. She does a lot more though. She works with sports teams, youths, does a lot of workshops, things that honestly, as a sports psychology minor in college, I really eat that stuff up. So I wanted to bring Stephanie on and talk more about what she does, what she brings to the table, and how she helps people. So further ado, why don't you introduce yourself better than I can?
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you for that. Thanks for having me. So I am an LPC, a licensed professional counselor, newly licensed, which is so exciting. So that's great. I work at a private practice that really focuses on teens well-being, and family support as well. It's called the Center for Family Empowerment in Jenkintown, PA. Me personally, I typically say that I work with like 14 and up, but really for me, it's like the juniors and seniors in high school and then college students. I just had like 11 of my clients go into their freshman year of college this fall. So that was
Wow.
such an interesting crew. So that was really awesome to see their growth so far. Yeah, it was awesome. So a lot of college students, a lot of college athletes. So I do individual sessions. I also run what we call our practice. It's called Strong Girls. So that's for like 7 to 9, 10-year-old girls. So it's different than my typical population. So for me, it's like a break in my week. I love it so much. I look forward to it. Just teaching girls about confidence, self-esteem, body image, how to have conversations with other girls, those kinds of things. So I do all of that. And then, yeah, like you said, my workshops, I love doing them. They're so awesome, so fun for me. So I do completely custom workshops for different sports teams, college teams. I've done them for like local high school PTA meetings, the Parent Teacher Association meetings as well. I've done like a local gym class. I've like popped in there for their like mental health segment of their class for the semester. Yeah, I could talk about those all day. So I pretty much like give connect with people. I've done them for Sinus. That's where I played field hockey, and have the coaches fill out like a Google form, tell me what they want, what their needs are, asking the players on the team what their needs are, and just like fully making it custom to whatever, the team's
Awesome.
experiencing. Yeah.
That's awesome. When someone says therapist, or at least when someone said it like 15 years ago, you're thinking like leather couch, lay
Mhm.
down, stare at the ceiling. Not you,
Mhm.
not
No.
you.
No.
A lot of growth
Yeah.
opportunities for people in there, and super exciting. I think that age group that you're dealing with. I mean, I've spoken, to some local high schools too. That's a pivotal age group.
Mhm.
Honestly, personally for me, that's actually when I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And I might be
Mhm.
talking out of my rear end, but I'm pretty sure that's when your brain starts to fully develop.
Well, so yeah, so I
Add some
guess
light to that because I could be wrong.
yeah, so I always say to people, our frontal lobe here, so obviously the front part of our brain here, that's all for our executive functioning, and that doesn't get developed till we're 25.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
a lot of times when I'm working
I
with,
was like 5 years
yeah,
off,
it's
6
okay.
years off.
It's all good. Makes sense. It's okay. But when I'm working with these students, especially my like juniors and seniors in high school, and they're like, how am I supposed to make a decision where to go to college? Like, can you just tell me where to go? I'm like, well, that would be a little bit weird. I can give you insights and we can look at schools together and things like that. But of course, it's stressful for them because they're not fully able to make these executive decisions for themselves because it's not developed yet in their brain. So it's such an interesting age. I also think the impact of COVID that this age group specifically has experienced really impacted their ability to connect with other people socially, how to time manage, because now we're actually in the classroom, now we have to study, we can't just be virtual, we can't be lying in our bed doing our schoolwork, right? We're going in, we're doing all of those things, and it's such a learning curve, and just being able to support this population as they go through all of this it's been such a great journey for me and
No
hopefully for
one,
them too.
no one feels bad about the millennials having to go back into work.
No, not at all.
No. So that's no, that's a really good point. It's scary, really. The world is a lot different when you throw a huge curveball in the mix of it. And I think that whole topic of college is like it hasn't been figured out yet. It wasn't figured out for us. It wasn't figured out for the people in front of us, our parents. And it doesn't seem any easier. Like there isn't a test or a class that really nails it. What should I do with my freaking life?
Right, exactly. And I think too, this age group specifically, right, they have TikTok. I have yet to download TikTok. So my clients are always like, can I send you this video? It's so relatable. I'm like, you're going to have to email it to me, obviously, right? So I think right now there's so much pressure, right? You see all of these videos of people sitting at their computer, clicking the button where they got accepted. And if you're not applying to those kinds of schools, what is that doing to your, self-esteem? And I think that there's so many different ways that these kids are seeing the pressure to be perfect and get into that top school and the dream school and say that they're going to these places. It's doing a number for sure on people's mental health.
It's interesting you say that. A few weeks ago, I had a good friend on who was a health teacher in upstate New York. And he said the biggest thing that I'm seeing is social media's impact. So he's seeing it, and then you're seeing it.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was wrong. It's out there. It's a thing.
Yeah. And I'm always telling my clients, I'm like, let's go on a social media detox. Like, how many days do you think we can go without it? If it's just tonight into tomorrow, great. That's awesome. If we can try between now and the next time we meet, even better, right? So there's so much on there. There's so much pressure to like not be canceled, right? With like cancel culture and should I post this? What is someone going to say? Or it's a lot all the time too. And I don't think TikTok's really helped it that much, right? There's so much more pressure. And now there's also good sides of it too. From what I hear, again, I don't have it, so I can't really speak on it. But from what my crew of people that I'm working with tell me, there's pros and cons to it like anything, but it's adding some pressure onto them that maybe we didn't experience, like you said, like our parents didn't experience either.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a time suck. It gets you really hooked in there. And I don't have TikTok myself either.
Nice. Good.
Yeah. But I have the Instagram, and Instagram Reels are like just as much of a thing.
For sure.
Steffi, give me 1 second. I have a golden retriever knocking.
Okay. That's amazing. You can bring the dog in. That's great.
Yeah, I'll have to. He's being very rude.
Go for it.
That's it, Rover. All right, come on. And you can't leave now. You're with us. All right. I'll bring them up at the end.
Great. So
something that you said that I think is really like interesting is you're not just kind of covering, hey, what's wrong and I can help with what's wrong. But it seems like you're uncovering that, you're patching that up, you're helping them, and then you're also elevating them, which I think is like super important. It's almost, I mean, I can get into performance. I love to talk about performances, but the workshops I think are awesome. I mean, like, what are you doing there? Because the fact that you customize it.
Yeah, I love them. So again, it's fully custom to whatever the team is needing. And I really try to spend time sitting with it of, okay, what is going to be worthwhile for these? Let's just say it's a women's sports team. What's going to be worthwhile for these women's time, right? I'm coming in there when I was playing, like if we had somebody come in, like I want to be able to remember what's going on, right? I want to have these key takeaways. So I always think about that as well. My most popular workshop is about self-care. And that's something that, I think you had a past therapist that was on here about self-care as well. It's never going away. And I'm very clear when I go through the self-care workshops with my clients of what it means, what it looks like. Everyone gets to do kind of a wellness assessment, a self-care inventory in that. I also start it too with, you can't talk about taking care of yourself if you're not talking about why you need to take care of yourself. So stress 101, burnout. How do you know when you're burned out? So I actually made, for my most recent workshop, I made like a fully custom handout that I probably need to just get like trademarked at this point. And we kind of go through, what does it look like when you're on empty? What does it look like when your tank is full? How do you know that you're running at full capacity? What are the things that drain you? What are the things that fuel you up? And really giving them a space to just think about it and sit with it. What really is taking up your time and what's helping you feel replenished? So we go through these kinds of things, and then we'll do SMART goals. So I don't know if you're familiar with SMART goals, probably are, but specific.
Of course, right?
Yeah, of course, everyone knows. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. So we create SMART goals based on how they need to take care of themselves. So in the self-care inventory, they create a SMART goal for each one of the categories, or one if it feels like this is really where I need to focus my time and energy. And then we kind of wrap up doing some kind of, parting gift that they will get. So whether that's like a little jar with strategies on how they can take care of themselves, they're pre-made, they're written out for them what they need, that's in the jar when they're feeling like they're struggling and they need it. They just take the lid off, take out one of them, and that's the thing they do for that day. Especially for the athletes when it's on a time crunch, we maybe can't think about it as quickly, so we just they need to have easy access to self-care. So that's pretty much, there's no really hidden secrets in there other than what this worksheet looks like. So that's a good little tip for you.
Definitely got that.
Yeah, I know. It's so good. The girls asked me, they were like, where'd you get this? I was like, guys, I need this. Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, what? This is so great. So I love being able to just make it realistic. I'm very visual. I think a lot of athletes tend to be very visual as well. So I keep that in mind by being able to physically give them something that they can look at, and they can hold each other accountable of like, where are you at on your scale? This is where I'm at. And here's how we can connect together to get ourselves feeling better in season, out of season, over the summer, all of those things. So self-care is definitely the most popular one that I've done for sure.
I'm so fascinated. I have so many questions, so many comments. But here's what I'll say. I think not only you said they're visual, people are visual, athletes are visual learners, right?
Yeah.
I think they're also action. They're looking for, take homes or what application.
Yes.
And how the hell do you do an application for self-care? Oh, you're going to make a jar that I could grab? That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really, really awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I've done presentations about controlling the controllables.
Oh, yes.
Putting a line of duct tape on there and asking them what you can control. If you can control it, step on the line. If not, step off. You can't do that with self-care. So the fact that you have a jar pre-made, ready to go, there's no excuses for those athletes. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it was so funny. The oohs and the ahs that I got once I showed them the little jar, because it's not a big jar, right? It doesn't have to be anything large, right? It needs to be big enough so that if you see it on the counter over there, you remember to do it. And again, right, like just being able to have something tangible to just hold yourself accountable is really good. Another thing that I've done in my Strong Girls workshop or group that I run is at the beginning of the year, so like this January, the sessions leading up to the first week of January, I'll give them each a mason jar, and it'll just be, I forget exactly what the name is, it's in my mind, but it's like 52 things that made me happy, right? So it's one thing a week that they sit on and they reflect and they write it down on a piece of paper, put it in a jar, and then at the end of the year, they're looking back at all the things that went well or that made them happy. That's, I feel like that's everywhere. A lot of people end up doing those, but it's a great idea, but to sit there and actually do it is one thing. And I think, right, just if you can find one thing that made you happy or, that you are grateful for the week, I think that makes such a difference.
Yeah, but so many, probably even the young ones, young children or girls you're working with, like they get talked to all the time at school, and you're giving them something that they can do. That's the word tangible, I think, is the key word there. I mean, other than the girl group and athletes, I mean, it seems like your workshops can be done for anyone. I mean, do you do anything other than the athletes or?
Yeah. So right now, this semester, I guess for my college students, I'm doing what I'm calling Sunday Scaries. You've probably seen it on my Instagram. So that's just like a 3-part workshop series for literally any college student. It's $10, and you get an hour of time with me, and you get like a PDF of basically whatever we've talked about in that hour session. And the next one that's coming up is actually next Sunday, the 12th, and that's on like a final survival guide, right? So different study tips that you can do, ways to actually take care of yourself during finals, how to just be your best version of yourself going into finals week. And it's well before finals week, so you can start thinking about these things and implementing them so that, again, it's just kind of second nature. So that's for now, and I'll do some more of those in the spring semester as well. I'm thinking about doing some for high school seniors going into college in the fall, right? Just kind of that adjustment and things like that. So I'm game for like whatever the people want out there, right? And I think that there's such a need to have, maybe it's not full on individual therapy, maybe it's not group therapy, but it's some way that you can connect with a therapist and get support for whatever it is that you're needing. That's accessible, that's reasonable. And anyone can hop on the computer too now and do one of those, which is so great.
Coaching, consulting, you're doing it all.
Yeah, love it.
Appreciate that. So we got to have you on for more of these clients. You have a lot more to give. I know that. Anything you want to take us with to potentially dangle the carrot saying, hey, I'll be back, but this is what I want to talk about?
Oh, yeah. So we were kind of talking too just about like the words in which we use our day to day. So just being really mindful about our word choice and what, how we're ending conversations to take care. Are we actually doing that? And how can we do that? And I have, I'm a big acronym and like analogy girl. So I have a really great acronym for one of my favorite words that all of my clients, myself included, say in therapy too. That makes us, when you have the acronym, it challenges us, makes us think about things differently, how we communicate, how we're actually doing with people. So the mental health terms is a good one.
Don't tell us. We'll get it next time.
I won't tell you.
That is the first teaser on the climb, and I'll say you crushed it, Stephanie. So
thank you
for joining. I got one
You're welcome.
little guy that wants to say hello. Come here.
Yes. I'm a huge dog lover, so this is great. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love this.
All right. Well, that's Rover's first climb visit too. So
love it. Perfect.
I appreciate your time. Everyone go follow Stephanie. I'm going to tag her and collaborate with her, so you'll have all of her accounts there.
Thank you.
It's an awesome account to join. So thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate it.
Thanks, AJ. No worries.